freedoms and those first responders who save our lives on a regular basis. Thank you.
You may be seated. Roll call, Ms. Tanaka.
Mr. Angel?
Present.
Mr. Hall?
Present.
Mr. Hertz? Here. Mr. Pepper?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Mr. Sweeney?
Here.
Mrs. Maston?
Present.
Madam President, roll call reveals Madam President.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yes, Mr. Hertz is here.
Let the record show we have a quorum. We have 7 present. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Need a motion, please?
So moved, Madam President. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pepper, second by Commissioner Scott. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Madam President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Let the record show 7 are in favor of the agenda. At this point in time, we open up the meeting for public comment for anything that's not covered under a public hearing. Does anyone in the audience or on the line have anything they would like to address with us that's not covered under public hearing? Please come forward.
If there's anyone joining us online that would like to make public comments at this time, please indicate by raising your electronic hand or pressing *3 if you're joining us by phone. I see no hands raised online, Madam President.
Thank you. Motion to approve consent agenda 2511.
So moved, Mr. President. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Vice President Scott. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Madam President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Let the record show 7 yeas for consent agenda 2511. We will now go into presentations, and we're going to change the sequence. And number 1 will be a Bay Health presentation by, I believe, Mr. Terry Murphy. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, President Maston. My name is Terry Murphy. I reside at 483 Raven Circle in Camden, Wyoming, when I'm not at 640 South State Street in Dover, which is the home of Bay Health. I'm the president and CEO of Bay Health, and I'm joined tonight with Dr. Gary Siegelman, who is our Chief Medical Officer and designated institutional officer at Bay Health. And we wanted to cover a little bit about an introduction into our medical education program at Bay Health. Mark, if you could. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. There we go. So you may have seen recently, this is a recent picture from our newest class of residents and fellows at Bay Health. Bay Health now employs 5,000 individuals as a system. We're the largest private employer, and we also have the largest teaching program covering Kent and Sussex County. This is a depiction of the brand new residents and fellows that are starting in our community this past July. So they've just started. It's our largest group of physicians that are coming to the area to practice and to learn their field. And as a teaching hospital accredited by the American Council on Graduate Medical Education, as a teaching hospital, it is part of who we are as a system. So we wanted to share a little bit. We received funding, ARPA funding in 2023, and we just wanted to share with the Levy Court Commissioners, really and with the community, some of the impact of the funding. Total amount that Bay Health has spent is probably $24 million in facilities and salaries and all those things that come behind it. It's a very large commitment by our organization to do something different. So tonight we're going to share a little bit about the need for primary care. I'm sure that's not new to anyone. And other specialty physicians in Kent and Sussex County in particular. There is a bigger need in Kent and Sussex as opposed to Newcastle County. We want to share a little bit more detail about the graduate medical education, the residencies, as well as the fellowships, which is new, and the difference between those, and just get into, again, the 7 programs that we're now providing teaching for, and explain a little bit about what we're doing in undergraduate medical education. So this is training for medical students who haven't become medical doctors or DO physicians yet, but it's part of the training that we do, and the impact in the community and some of the special work being done with these physicians to provide care for the community. So with that, I will be available, but I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Gary Siegelman, who's an internist. Just by background, I've been with Bay Health now for 25 years, and I've been CEO since 2009. And I believe Dr. Siegelman is probably 15 or 16 years in the community. Gary?
Thank you, Terry, and thank you as well to the President and the members of the Levy Court. It's a privilege to be here, and as Terry said, we appreciate the Levy Court's support of the work we're doing for the community. It's really, as he spoke of, it's first a training mission in terms of bringing more people into our workforce in the state of Delaware. And I'll talk about this. A number of these graduates, with 2 classes of graduates, have already joined us to provide care as physicians in the community, so that's important. And some of the other goals, too, include to really elevate the level of care that we provide and to bring in some very talented individuals. The faculty that we brought in for these programs are really exceptional, so we're very proud of that. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go through the presentation. So graduate medical education is education for the people that have graduated from medical school. They're in residencies or fellowships. These are some of our team members on a rounding and a teaching service. So some of the genesis for this comes from state data and other data that shows that we have a variety of shortages, particularly in Kent and Sussex counties for healthcare clinicians. Physicians and advanced practice clinicians, a lot of different things, but physicians are pretty critical. This is a graph from studies that were done all the way from 1998 going up to 2021. This is published in 22. It's the latest report from Health and Human Services. And it shows that we've had less than a 1% increase per year in primary care physicians in the last 13 years, in that 13-year period. When you think about that, less than 1% is not meeting the population growth in Kent and Sussex counties. And the fact is that some of the population that's moving here is older, more in their retirement years. So the needs of each individual have gotten, on average, greater. So we're not keeping up with the needs of the community. And some of you have heard that relative to trying to get physicians, and that's one of our key goals, obviously. The other thing is that, again, healthcare is, like a lot of jobs, is challenging, and a number of individuals are planning to retire when you look at these surveys. So again, we need to replace, and then we need to add more clinicians. And again, you can see a lot of the issues are in Kent and Sussex counties. So our health professional shortage areas in Kent and Sussex counties. That means we have less than 1 primary care physician for every 2,000 people. When you look at where people end up working for a good portion of their careers, it often relates to where they come from. So there's some data here from studies that shows that many primary care physicians went to high school in the areas they end up working in. Many went to medical school, and many completed residencies in that area. So we try to have this pipeline, and we also work heavily with the medical schools. I'll talk about that in a minute. Try to get people from, often who are residents of Delaware, into medical schools in the region, back into the residencies here and then ideally staying in the community. We have some examples of that, which are great stories. This is a program, just size overall. So we have, you can see it shows 8 lines here, but there are really 7 programs. 2 of them are primary care, that's internal medicine, family medicine. We have a surgery residency, emergency medicine residency, and then 2 fellowships, which is more advanced training in oncology or cancer care and in gastro disease, and a new fellowship in sports medicine. So these are some of the things we have going on. Every year we're adding now about 37 new residents is what we added this year, residents or fellows. So again, we're growing, and they've been a great addition to our community and to our hospital services. The internal medicine program, we have a total of 16 positions per year. We're trying to focus more now on teaching more primary care to those individuals because a lot of people go into fellowships from internal medicine to be specialists in critical care or hematology or cardiology, but the primary care need here in Delaware is great, so that's a big focus that we have. We have thousands of applicants for 16 slots, so we're fortunate in that respect. And we have a number of people that have graduated already that have stayed in the community, taken full-time jobs here. And again, some do go on to competitive fellowships, and that's great as well. Some of them we think will come back too. The internal medicine and family medicine residents also provide primary care as part of their training. So about 5,500 visits per year by the internal medicine group, which is a decent number, and about 15,000 since the program has begun. So those are, they are seeing patients as their continuity physicians for their 3 years that they're in training, and then they get handed off to a new resident. So I think most of those patients are very happy, and so we're contributing in that way as they're learning their skills. Family medicine these are often the physicians that really just do primary care. We have 8 positions per year. We have up to 1,000 applicants per year. They provide more visits because they spend more time just doing that office primary care. So over 10,000 a year. We've had over 45,000 visits since we started the program 4 years ago. So, it's helpful to the community, and then ideally, again, they stay in the future. We do other things in the community too, which we feel are important. One of our family medicine faculty who is really very committed is started a street medicine program. So although it's not ideal to have people that don't have homes, obviously, in the community, but they have been going to locations which they've identified throughout Dover. This is primarily in Dover. 1 or 2 Saturdays a month with a team of residents, and they're giving basic things like food and blankets sometimes, but they're also working on basic healthcare needs too. If someone has a blood pressure issue, a diabetes issue, again, these are basically people without homes, and they are trying to help keep them in the best condition they can, given their circumstances. So this is a little bit about our recruitment. We have, of the first two graduating classes were internal medicine, family medicine. We've had 10 residents join us. Many of those in primary care. Some are also doing teaching. So they have now become faculty members, and some of our hospitalists where they do primary care but full-time in the hospital, so they provide for the inpatients in the hospital. So 10 out of our first 2 classes, and we're happy. And also several did go to Newcastle County. I didn't include those. Again, we'd like ideally for them to stay in Kent and Sussex, but they are still in the state of Delaware, so that's still a plus. I mentioned the other programs. These started a little bit later. We started them sequentially, a different one each year. General surgery is longer, emergency medicine, the cancer fellowship, and the gastro fellowship. None of those have graduated classes yet, but we hope to have a number of them stay. Again, gastro, emergency medicine, there are shortages in several of these areas. So, and they also had a higher ratio of applicants, so we're really getting good people in our programs. And then I've got a couple more slides, and so this really talks about the connection between college students in Delaware who are residents, or actually they could have gone to college elsewhere. It starts with people that are residents of Delaware who are applying for medical school. And through what's called the Dimer program, which some of you I know are familiar with, we have an arrangement with Jefferson and with PCUM to take a certain number of Dimer residents into their medical school classes every year. It's a total of 20 that they're expected to. Sometimes they provide more slots, but allows that, it's like they're our local medical school for Delaware, those two Philadelphia schools. So we have them there, we stay in touch with those students, and we work with them to try to have them come back for residency. So it's a very helpful relationship, and many of them do. We have one of our residents who went through that program, is just started his third year, will graduate in a year, has already signed a contract for next year. So we have others that are thinking about that as well. The other thing I just want to mention is we train medical students at Bay Health. Terry mentioned that briefly. We have a total of 22 medical students from either Drexel or Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine that spend their whole third year of medical school with us, and they go through all their basic rotations, whether it's medicine, surgery, cardiology, OB, et cetera. And so they really get to have a relationship with us, and they get to know the community. And again, those are people that have come back, come into residency, and stayed with us. So trying to help, again, build our hospital services and patient services with the residents and fellows, but also have them come back and stay. So quite a few medical students come from those two places and others as well. And then just I want to mention that the residents are involved in a lot of different things. National presentations, research, which is really helping to advance care, and have done very well in receiving awards and being recognized for their work. That's really, really what we wanted to talk about. We wanted to give you an idea of what we're doing, and thank you again for your support, which has been very helpful. One thing I didn't mention, and Terry and I realized we didn't have in the slides, we have a simulation center that also is partially from support you provided, which is a center to do training where you're not doing training on patients, you're doing training in a simulation environment, which is really the best in the southern two counties, and we think it's probably the best in the state of Delaware. And we have about 24,000 learner hours per year. Those are often residents, but they're nurses or others that are able to do mock code blues, all sorts of different things, mock surgeries, all sorts of different training there, and it's been very helpful. So again, what you've done in supporting us has been terrific, and thank you for having us, and I'm happy to answer any questions, however you'd like to do that.
Sir, thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day, you and Mr. Murphy also, to come and give us an overview of what's going on at Bay Health. Obviously, live in the Smyrna-Clayton area. There is an extreme shortage of doctors there, but I'm happy to see that you're progressing along and getting doctors here that hopefully will stay here for a period of time. I have no questions. Do we have any commissioners who have questions for them? Commissioner Pepper?
This is a little off the subject, but within your hospital. Recently, my mother was in Bay Health Dover for a period of time, and I always make a point to talk to the nurses. They come in to treat her and assist her. And I found that quite a few of them were traveling nurses. Is there a reason that we've got so many traveling nurses and not full-time nurses in the hospital?
Sure, that's a good question, and I can speak to it, or if Mr. Murphy wants to. Okay.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Commissioner Pepper. Actually, that's changing quite a bit. When we went through COVID, I think across the nation, there was just a huge increase, and that actually put a lot of pressure on hospitals because it's not the same. It's not the same as growing our own. Bay Health is the only hospital in Kent or Sussex with a magnet designation for professional nursing, and I think that actually helps us attract. The schools have been doing more, so we've actually seen a significant decrease in the number of what I would call travel nurses, and we've also done a nice job in converting people who were travelers who have decided to stay in the area. So that may be the case. We still have some travelers that support the work that we do, but the work that's been done on workforce by Del Tech, the University of Delaware, where we actually are training nurse leaders now through a new program, all those things I think are helping to turn that around to get further away from the COVID situation, which was really traumatic for all of us. But I think that's actually changing quite a bit, and be more than happy to share what those actual numbers are, because we've done a nice job of turning it around. It was unsustainable the way it was.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else have questions for Commissioners or Vice President Scott?
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Murphy, I just want to thank both of you for coming in this evening and explaining that, especially the last question that Commissioner Pepper had in reference to the traveling nurses. Yes, a conversation that we've kind of been discussing for approximately the last month now. And one of the positives that you just expressed was when you were able to take and convert those traveling nurses to full-time residents here at Bay Health. I think that speaks volumes. So thank you for the job that you guys are doing.
Absolutely. And the other thing, I know it's a hot topic, and it's just moving patients through emergency medicine and our trauma service. We're actually presenting to the Health Resources Board tomorrow a plan to go vertical on our Kent campus, 6 stories. To be 10 stories, so that adding 100 beds to move patients quicker and getting them to a bed versus sitting in a bed somewhere else is a big part of what we're doing on Kent campus, to mirror what we've done at Sussex, to design the facility that keeps the patient in mind and the caregiver in mind, to be more vertical versus on that campus, which is horizontal. But that's for another time, and we'd welcome the opportunity to share what we're doing in that project as well, which also helps us attract people and good nurses and physicians. That helps by doing that well.
Commissioner Angel?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Murphy,
Terry, please.
Terry, we go back quite a bit. The $1 million that we gave Bay Health, this is part of that program to homegrown physicians, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't think that was spoke, so I wanted to get that on the record first.
Yes, sir.
And then in the beginning, you had a picture of 30, looked like about 35, 36?
37.
37, okay, I was close.
Yes, sir.
Those are the ones that we're doing the homegrown procedures?
These are brand new physicians that have been accepted into our residency and fellowship programs. In fact, Saturday we had an event just to bring them together at the Rail House in Dover, just to get to know one another, because they may be in emergency medicine, or I may be a general surgeon, or I may be a primary care internal medicine resident, but they're all part of the same program to really create a family atmosphere. If you do that well in your training programs, they're going to tend to stick around. And if we have them for 3 years or 5 years for general surgery, they're working in the community, they're delivering care to a patient population that they get to know. They get used to our great nurses and our record systems, and if they're living here, just the likelihood, and we talked to them early about staying in the community, what we can do to kind of keep them here. So I think these are just the 37 of the 102. So we have a second year and third year and fourth and fifth year residents that make up the rest of those physicians. But right now we are training 102 residents and fellows. And hats off to our medical staff, because they serve as faculty. So they're giving their time to teach the next generation, pull that next generation of physicians up. And it's by far the largest program in Kent and Sussex County.
The other question I have too is, I think Dr. Gary mentioned some things on the board there about 5 of them are in a course and are going up to exceed their but they may come back. We don't know if they're coming back though.
Yes.
So there's no.
Yeah, so the way this works is, if I'm an internal medicine physician and you don't offer a fellowship, let's say in cardiology, I'm going to a fellowship program somewhere else. In fact, one of our first, we have the first hematology oncology fellowship in the state of Delaware, which was started last year. And one of our fellows, of the 2 fellows, actually came from Christiana Care, and we're very proud of that. So I think that if they go for other training, and that may be another year, we're still hoping they come back because of the relationship with the physicians and the community. So you can't tie them to that. What you can do is try and do things well and make it where they want to come back.
Do you do an exit interview or exit review with them when a doctor decides to leave, though, and leave the area? Why? How come? What for? So that, I mean, I'm with the downtown Dover with trying to get that built up for help this and your hospital too. But I don't think we've ever heard any reasons for. I know of 2 doctors that have left, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I think generally anything we do in the community as a community to improve it helps, and that can be whatever. But I think generally for our physicians, if they're going through other training, like we lost we lost 5 of our primary care physicians because they want to have more training and they want to elevate their career, and one of them was in palliative care, or for those that may be at the death and dying process or may have terminal illness. Well, that's great. And hopefully they come back to the community after that year. So we don't lose touch with them. But usually it's the professional relationship, it's the culture of the organization that will try and bind them to the community. Thank you.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Thank you, ma'am. Terry, I just wanted to say that my mother-in-law, like Terry, Commissioner Pepper's mom, was just spent some time in the hospital. She went into the emergency room, and our fear was that she was going to spend a lot of days in the emergency room, but they were able to move her up into a room, and whether it was the ER or in the room itself, your staff provided excellent care. And I'm hoping that how we were able to help with ARPA funding is going to keep the incubator program prosperous and to continue your growth. And I'm a big proponent of build it and they will come. So keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you guys and everything that you do.
Thank you. On behalf of all of our team members, we want to do it well. We don't like it when people have to wait. That's the last thing we want, because we wouldn't want it for our own family members, and that's kind of the bellwether you have to use. So we're working hard at it. I think adding the 9,400 beds in this new reinvestment that Bay Health is making into Kent and Sussex County is the largest reinvestment we've made. It'll be well over $300 million. So it's a large reinvestment. We are a not-for-profit organization, so the money stays in the community, and we're using that to really prepare for an aging and growing population. And thank you.
Terry, what's the timeline on that?
I think we're hoping for 4 years because we're going to go 6 stories vertical. So there's a lot of planning. You just don't do these things on a whim, and we want to do it well. So we're going to design it based on what our patients are saying, and we're going to test it and use some of the learnings from our Sussex project. But it is going to be a massive and really meant to improve the service being delivered on our Kent campus.
That sounds great. I do have a question, and I hate to bring up rumors, but there was a rumor that there was going to be an emergency room facility built over at the intersection of Route 10 and Route 13, like across from Dawson Bus. Do you know anything about that?
I don't respond to rumors. If I did,
okay.
I would be able to work.
I get it.
I don't know of that.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Thanks.
thank you for the rumor question.
Yep.
Commissioner Hertz, do you have any questions for Mr. Murphy?
Thank you all for
No,
your
I'm
time
good.
today.
I appreciate them coming in, but I don't have no questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Hertz. Mr. Murphy, thank you so much, and your counterpart, for taking time out of your evening to come and give us an update. It is very much appreciated.
Thank you, President Maston, and the other members of Levy Court. And if there's anything we can ever do, I'm pretty available 24/7, even though my phone is on silent as I've been in here tonight. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're going to go back to our agenda. We're going to do the Employee of the Month. Mr. Shepard?
Good evening, Commissioners. So I'm just going to read the memo into the record tonight. Kent County Department heads have selected Jonathan Stewart from the Department of Community Services as the August 2025 Employee of the Month. Jonathan currently serves as a Recreation Program Supervisor 3 in the Rec Division, having joined the county in November of 2017. He has a strong background in recreation program development and community outreach, including prior experience as the Assistant Director of Aquatics and Training at Delaware State University. Jonathan's current responsibilities include developing, implementing, and evaluating a variety of athletic and cultural programs, creating long-range plans to address future recreation needs, promoting recreational activities through social media, and serving as a liaison to community groups. Recently, Jonathan took the lead on the Piccadilly Playground Replacement Project by designing and launching a public survey. He researched and curated a concise list of meaningful survey questions to help Kent County define the project's scope. In addition, he is overseeing the fall 2025 digital newsletter. Drawing on his computer design skills, he produced the newsletter in-house and helped plan and execute the accompanying marketing campaign. Both high visibility projects arose within the last month, and Jonathan proactively stepped forward to support the county in these important initiatives. According to me, Jonathan possesses a unique and enviable skill set that blends creativity with logical thinking. This combination allows Parks and Recreation to produce engaging branded content for social media while also ensuring clear and effective communication with programs, leagues, and participants. We are fortunate to have Jonathan's talent on our team. Congratulations, Jonathan, on a job well done. Jonathan does reside in Milford on Sussex County, but really close, really close. So congratulations, Jonathan. Thank you. As you can see, being showed to you right now is the upcoming digital brochure. And this, of course, is important because we're transitioning from the printed brochure to digital only. So as you can see, it's full of color, it's full of very eye-catching graphics and fonts, and we're going to be able to do a lot with this over the next year, and the first one's getting kicked off just right. And that's thanks to Jonathan.
Could the commissioners join me down front, please?
And while everyone is gathering up front, I'll go ahead and read the tribute for Kent County Levy Court, August 2025 Employee of the Month, Jonathan Stewart. On this, the 29th day of July, 2025, the Levy Court of Kent County, State of Delaware, does hereby recognize Jonathan C. Stewart, Recreation Program Supervisor 3, Department of Community Services, Recreation Division, for his exceptional initiative, dedication, and conscientiousness in the delivery of services to the citizenry of the county.
Jonathan, there's not a whole lot of other things that can be said about you, except I'm extremely happy that you're part of our team here at Kent County Levy Court. Certainly look forward to great things from you. Was really impressed and what I see for the new digital version, and just keep the cards and notes coming. We appreciate everything that you're doing.
Like the President said, great job. We appreciate you. We appreciate your personality and how you get along with your peers and subordinates, and just keep up the great work.
Yeah, this is fantastic. That's an amazing piece of work that you've done there, and that's great outreach to all of the folks living in Kent County. So keep up the good work. Congratulations.
On behalf of all the employees here at Kent County, congratulations on your recognition as the Employee of the Month. And when I received that last week to review, I was like, well, I knew who's going to do the next one after this too. So when you do something that nice, I mean, it's glad you're being recognized for that. So congratulations.
Jonathan, thank you for all that you're doing, and brochure really come out nice, but more importantly, thank you for being part of Kent County. So thank you, and keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you. You have a little bit of Mary Poppins in you, don't you? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Commissioner Sweeney, would you like to speak?
Yes, ma'am. You know what a good supervisor will say is everything that the employee is doing, and what he won't say because most of his bosses are there in the room, is that Levy Court keeps making changes to Jeremy's program, whether it's a new Piccadilly Castle or get rid of the print version of our newsletter, and someone has to design the new digital newsletter. And Jonathan took all that on, but still continued to do his current job. So, Jonathan, congratulations. You've proven that this is something that is a long time coming, and I'm glad that we're handing this to you now.
Commissioner Hertz?
Yeah, congratulations, Jonathan, and all that you do. And the new newsletter looks really great. Great job. Thank you.
Jonathan, you don't get off the hook.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be recognized. I really appreciate the opportunity that Community Head, Division Head Jeremy Shepard has given me the opportunity to work on a lot of these variety of programs that serve the community. It's an honor to be able to utilize and grow my skills to serve the residents of Kent County. And it's nice to be part of a team that values initiative, collaboration, and community impact. Thank you very much.
Job well done. This next one here is really near and dear to my heart because I didn't know Linda for many years, but I was fortunate to be on the team that selected Linda to be part of the Kent Economic Partnership. And ever since that day, she's not just been a colleague, she's been a really, really good friend. So it gives me a great honor to have Miss Linda Parkowski to step forward, please. I know you're thrilled. I know you're thrilled. At any rate, this is really a great honor for me to read this. Kent County Levy Court tribute honoring Linda Parkowski, the CEO of the Year. The Kent County Levy Court proudly recognizes and congratulates Linda Parkowski, Executive Director of the Kent Economic Partnership, on being named CEO of the Year by the Delaware Business Times in the small nonprofit category. Linda's leadership has been the driving force in Kent County's economic development, bringing vision, energy, and remarkable commitment to every initiative she undertakes. Her strategic thinking and collaborative spirit have not only strengthened our local economy, but have also inspired regional partnerships and elevated Kent County's profile across Delaware. This honor is a testament to Linda's dedication, integrity, and innovative approach to economic growth, whether championing small business, attracting new industries, or fostering workforce development. Linda leads with her heart and purpose. On behalf of Kent County Levy Court and the residents of Kent County, we extend our heartfelt congratulations and deepest gratitude. Your impact is felt far beyond the metrics. It's in the lives and opportunities you help shape every day. Thank you, Linda, for your outstanding service and leadership. Kent County is better because of you, and that is a true statement. Signed by myself and 6 members of Kent County Levy Court. Congratulations on a job well done and an honor well deserved. Thank you, Linda.
Linda, we all know you do a fantastic job. You're not afraid to approach people. You're not afraid to talk to people, and you're not afraid to ask for things. And that position is exactly, you're the type of person that position requires. And you're doing a great job. And please keep up the good work, and please hang around.
I'll try. Well, this is well deserved indeed. You brought us some amazing ideas and really contributed to economic development in the county. It's been great working with you.
Linda, congratulations also. I had an opportunity a few weeks ago to go on a tour of Kent County, to go around and look at where you're looking to grow the county through an economic development process. So I really appreciate that. The other thing is, she's involved, the CEO, she's the economic development, but she's part of our administration department, and whenever we need something, she's the first one to step up and take care of whatever needs to be done. So thank you very, very much for all that you do for the county.
Linda, as always, truly an honor. I mean, your loyalty and dedication is second to none when it comes to economic development. I met you a little over 2.5 years ago, and we had a conversation in reference to economic development. And honestly, I didn't know the first thing of what you were talking about, but you had brought me a pamphlet that I could take home and read, so I did. But over the last 2.5 years, I've picked your brain on many different things, and to watch your mindset always be in the direction of growing Kent County and trying to bring economic development to Kent County to better the county as a whole is second to none. So truly, thank you for everything that you do for Kent County.
Well, Linda, we go way back. And Levy Court put me on the economic development thing with you. And I will tell you that you are the main reason why I can't wait to come here and hear things like tomorrow's meeting we're going to have. You've brought so many jobs, so many things, new ideas, innovation. The amount of things that you've done, where the first time I was on, we only did one thing, a sunflower plant, I believe, but you've brought the people here. You've opened jobs up. You've made people's lives work, and that makes us look good. And thank you very much from the bottom of our heart for everything you've done.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Thank you, Madam President. Linda, congratulations. They've all said it all. But here's my 2 cents. You need to give us, when you're ready, about 4 years notice so that the next person that you bring in, you can start training them for that 4 years, because you've set the bar so high for the next person to fill your shoes. My fear is that it just won't happen. So congratulations, and we love the job you're doing.
Commissioner Hertz?
Yeah, Linda, congratulations. I didn't know nothing about economic development either when I first became a commissioner, and everything I know today is because of you. And beyond that, you become a personal friend, and every now and then a listening board for me. So I really appreciate you.
Your turn.
Well, I would just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and you make it easy for me. You have always supported any idea that I've brought to Levy Court. You have backed me 100%. We have walked in step together to grow economic development for Kent County, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the support. A long time ago, I realized that if you do a good job and you do what you say you're going to do, you don't have to go out and say, hey, I'm the best. People realize the job you're doing. And we, together with the KEP board, have put Kent County on the map. And the other 2 counties have looked at what we've done with economic development. Like you said, we've created jobs. People can go buy a house, they can buy a car, they can feed their family because of the work that we've done in economic development. So I'm really proud to stand here at Kent County Levy Court, in the county where I raised my children, and that's why I took this job, Joanne. I said, this is my last job, and I'm gonna do it in the county that's given me so much. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're very welcome, Linda. Well deserved, my dear. Thank you all for enduring this time, but it's really important for Levy Court here to really recognize the people that go above and beyond every day for the residents of Kent County, as well as the work that they do here with the commissioners. We have a great team here at Levy Court. At this point in our meeting, we're going to start our public hearings. First item, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Madam President. If I could, Ms. Kiefer.
Good evening, Commissioners. First, if we could, just a word about how the hearings tonight will be conducted. This public hearing is being conducted for the purpose of giving the citizens of the county the opportunity to present testimony on the applications before the Levy Court. Everyone will have an opportunity to speak, and all statements are to be made from the podium at the front of the room or online when called for by the President. For the record, please give your name and address. Copies of any written statements or exhibits used during the hearing should be presented for identification and inclusion in the record. For each application before the Levy Court, the President will introduce the application. Then the Levy Court will receive testimony from all of those in favor. Testimony will then be received from those who may be opposed. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the hearing on the application will be closed, and the Levy Court will take what action it deems appropriate. Levy Court's decision will be based upon public hearing testimony given at this meeting and a recommendation submitted to the Levy Court by the Regional Planning Commission. I would ask that that recommendation be included by reference in the permanent record of this meeting established by the Clerk of the Peace. The public notice of this hearing was published in the July 9th, 2025 edition of the Delaware State News. The first application before the Commission tonight, CS 2505, is a conditional use site plan application for a helipad and hangar. The site itself is zoned agricultural residential. It is just over 50 acres on the east side of Indian Point Road, just south of Andrews Lake Road and west of Frederica. The Regional Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend conditional approval with a series of conditions. One, that commercial use is indeed prohibited. Only one helicopter is permitted on site. No experimental helicopters are permitted. Flying shall take place only during daylight hours, and no westbound takeoff or approach is permitted. And at the Planning Commission hearing, the applicant agreed to those conditions. So again, this comes with a recommendation to approve. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any commissioners have questions for Ms. Kiefer? Mr. Sweeney or Mr. Hertz, do you have any questions for Ms. Kiefer? Thanks, Ms. Kiefer.
So, Madam President?
Yes, sir?
It appears as though we have temporarily lost network connectivity. So what we're trying to do is reestablish that. I don't know if it's possible to take a few minutes break just to see if we can restart the connection and then resume in about 5 minutes or so.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Commissioner Sweeney, if you're online, can you indicate whether or not you can hear us?
Mark, I received a text from him, and he says he's unable to get back on the agenda. Commissioner Hertz. Commissioner Sweeney, are you able to hear us
at this time?
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for your patience here while we work through these technological challenges. But we've been able to get 2 of our commissioners to beam in by the telephone. So we're going to get started again.
Miracle of modern technology, the phone.
Mr. Walton, do I need to start from scratch with the public hearing?
I think it would only affect the folks online who can't join us anymore. We've already been through that. I think you can continue without having to start.
Just continue?
Yes, Ms. Kiefer has spoken, and we can continue from that point.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Okay, at this point, we're going to open the public hearing, and the way this works is each person will be given an opportunity to speak in favor or speak against the petition for conditional use. Each person will be given 3 minutes to speak, and you'll be sworn in by our attorney, Mr. Max Walton. Thank you. I'm sorry, you will be asked to give your name and address. Thank you. First petition for conditional use requiring site plan approval, CS 2505. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please come forward and give your name and address.
Relax for a minute. Good evening, Commissioners. The challenges we
So,
all...
sir, can you state your name and address for the
I'm
record?
sorry. First name's Robert, last name Kepfer, 2524 Andrews Lake Road, Felton, Delaware. I live right around the corner from the applicant.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Sir, did you say Kepfer, K-E-P? What's your full name?
F as in Frankie, or Kepfer.
And what's your first name?
Robert.
Robert. And could you lift your, so we can hear you?
How's that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You know, the first I knew of this application was when I drove by the applicant's entrance to his driveway there off Indian Point Road, big sign up applying for a variance. And of course, being a neighbor, the first thing I had is, we got another development happening here or what? So I did the smart thing. I went on the county's website, looked and seen what his application was all about. And then I seen a whole slew of things that fall under that application of potential uses if it's approved. And I'm like, man, this just doesn't sound good. So I did the unthinkable. I reached out to the applicant personally and said, I want to come meet you. And he's like, sure, no problem. And then my big question, what's your intention? What's your plan? We got to talking. He wants a private heliport to put his personal helicopter in to keep him from having to run down the Corman, down the highway. You can picture beach traffic because he's using his helo mostly on weekends. It's going to alleviate that for him. In that area, we have a history of having aircraft there. The property that's between myself and the applicants, another farm field, used to be a private airstrip in there, grass strip. Never bothered me. Single engine plane come in once in a while, land, yada, yada. Albania, right off of 15, which again is right around the corner from all of us, used to be a private airstrip in there that was used regularly. That strip is closed at this point. Then I started asking people I know in the area, well, what do you know? And everybody come up with these wild concocted stories about what this man was going to do. Oh, he's going to have private charters. He's going to do flight training. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I can speak to you as a person that flies. He can't do any of that. The FAA would not allow it. He has a private pilot, rotary wing endorsed license to fly. He can't fly commercially. He cannot fly for money. If he invited me to fly with him and I tried to pay him to fly, I can't. He can't accept it. What he could do is, if everybody wanted to chip in, by federal regulations, he has to pay his pay his pro-rata share of the cost of flying that day. Doesn't sound like a very good business plan to me. I don't know about you all, but that business wouldn't last long doing that. I am very much in favor of it. I don't think that the noise put up by his helicopter is going to be any kind of an inconvenience. We deal with C-17s flying over our houses every day going into Dover. We're on the flight path. And if any of you have ever heard a low-flying C-17 headed into Dover, it screams. That's a disturbance. Do we complain? No, it's a necessary thing for the base to be there. We get Trooper 2, we get private aircraft, everything flies over that area. They're all louder than what his Eurocopter is. I know this because I've flown in helos. I did 17 years volunteer work with the Coast Guard here in Delaware Bay and off the Atlantic coastline doing search and rescue. Flew in all of those helicopters and did surface search and rescue. Talk about noise, that's what happens there. Trooper 2, they're down there. I fly out of Georgetown a lot. They're a couple hangars down from where I fly out. Far more noisier than his Eurocopter will ever be, along with the medical. We have the evac helicopters located 2 hangars up from me. I don't see a big problem other than there was I guess an earlier rash between him and some of the neighbors of a development over property disputes. Has nothing to do with what this man wants to do.
Sir, not to be rude, we're at 3 minutes, and we thank you very much.
Thank you, no problem.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of the application?
Sorry about that. I just had my knee reconstructed.
Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Juan R. Carride, and I reside at 558 North DuPont Highway, Dover, Delaware, 19901.
Sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
100%, sir, I do.
I didn't get your full name again.
Juan
Carride,
C-A-R-I-D-E.
J-U-A-N. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I read it for him? It's his, okay. Do you need my name to read for him or anything?
Mr. Walton?
Okay.
Yes, if you would, let's swear you in, state your name and.
Perfect. Desiree Caride, Desirae, Caride. I live in 1890 Bartlett Drive in Newcastle, Oklahoma, 73065.
Welcome from Oklahoma. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give or read is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I would like to take the opportunity to address the commissioners and respond to the opposition and their complaints regarding my helicopter and my heliport. For clarification and definition purposes, a private heliport is a landing and storage place for a helicopter, not to be confused with a commercial heliport or airport. My request is for a private heliport that will be solely used by me, my family, my guests, and my wife. I would like to make it known that my attorney had sent multiple letters in regard to the property line disputes with the neighbors, and they were ignored every time. Due to the purposeful dismissal of these letters, I was forced to construct and pay for an extremely costly fence on my property, which thankfully has helped with property disputes. I feel compelled to respond to allegations that were made against me on July 3rd, 2025. I have no website, no charter business, no petting zoo, and no school. Furthermore, the FAA strictly enforces I can receive absolutely no compensation under my private pilot's license. In order to receive any form of compensation, one would need to obtain and hold a commercial pilot's license, which I do not and have no intention of obtaining. We have reviewed all recommendations and conditions of approval by the commissioners and will abide by and accept all conditions. By having my helicopter and heliport on my property, we will be an added benefit to our community's public safety. We will openly invite services for Civil Air Patrol, the State Police Department, the Fire Department, Child Protective Services, and to assist in criminal apprehension if needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else here like to speak in favor of this application? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Gott. My address is 79 Zion Drive in Smyrna, Delaware.
Mr. Gott, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam President, Mr. Vice President, and Commissioners here. Thank you for hearing me. I came here at the request of Mr. Carride. Full disclosure, I think you all know, especially Madam President, that 79 Zion Drive in Smyrna Clayton area is quite a bit of ride from Indian Point Road. However, I've come to know Mr. Carride, started professionally about 15 years ago. However, we have developed into a personal friendship that has developed over time. And I know he was extremely upset by the attacks that transpired on July 3rd. I was not here for that hearing. I have watched it via your YouTube. And I do agree. And there are a lot of things that were said about Mr. Carride that are not true. And I wanted to come here and express to you all that I see that he has, and you just heard from his statement there, wished to abide by all the stipulations that have been set as far as the flight path and so forth with his helipad and the premises in which the helicopter will be stored on his property. I can just let you know that from my personal relationship with him and friendship with him over the last 15 years, anything that he has said to me has been true. I think, and I know that he will abide by anything and everything that he has stipulated to, which I think help limit any type of disruption that there might be from the residents that are there in the area, and hopefully it will be minimal. And I think that's about it that I could tell you. So,
Thank you, Mr. Gott.
all right.
Is there anyone here that would also like to speak in favor of the application? Please come forward.
Hi, good evening. My name is Dave Spicer. I live at 3283 Savannah Road in Dover, Delaware.
Mr. Spicer, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, Vice President, Commissioners.
What is your name? What's your last, how do you spell your last name?
It's S-P-I-C-E-R.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to comment on the character of Mr. Juan and Tony Carride, who are the owners of the Dover Jewelry and Pawn Shop located in Dover, Delaware. I've known them on a professional level more than 27 years and become friends over the years. And their business, which is located in the city of Dover, is a pillar in that community for many decades. My interactions with Juan and Tony have always been very positive, and I would describe both of them as very caring and generous people. I've always known them to have the most utmost integrity. They're very hardworking, spending many hours there at the business, and have been supportive of law enforcement and emergency personnel and the community itself for as long as I've known them. I also do not live close to Indian Point Road, but I know their character, and I know these people. They're very good people, and if they said they would abide by the rules that you set forth, and if you approved his project, I'm sure they would obey by it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here, anyone else who would like to speak in favor of the project? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Nick Patel. I'm here on behalf of SiteWorks Engineering. We were the company that did the plan. Our address is, I'm 897 West Birdie Lane, Magnolia, Delaware, 19962.
Mr. Patel, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Okay. There's been a lot said, and Mrs. Kiefer explained to you guys, but I'm just here on a capacity to answer any questions you may have. I do want to tell you that as we prepared the plan, a lot of the the rules that are, contingencies that were mentioned as far as, the flight path, things like that. I just wanted to, I think it's important to note that those are actually set forth by the owner, Mr. Wine himself. So he had taken into account when we sat down and talked about putting this helipad in, what we should do and how to keep the minimum impact on the community as possible. So he and I together had come up with the ideas that it would be non-commercial, which it would have been anyway, but we wanted to put it on the plan in writing so that way it was clear and it couldn't be disputed. The eastbound flight in, flight out, because of the density to the west of the helipad would have been a lot more. I mean, it would have been over more of a dense area. So just wanted to kind of make that point that those safety requirements, things like that, while they are required by the FAA, a lot of those contingencies were set forth directly from him and not proposed by any of the previous reviews from the county or anything to that effect. So I just felt like that should be noted well, that that this is something that's important to him, and we're hoping that if you guys have any questions, we can do our best to answer. And just know that while after this process, we still have to go through the FAA application process, and there's still a lot to be done. So, but I think he's proven that he's willing to abide by any other contingencies that you may see fit.
Thank you, Mr. Patel.
Yep.
Anyone else here like to speak in favor of the application? Please come forward.
Charles Newman, 114 Lake Drive, Felton, Delaware. I live in Windmill. My credentials may not be...
Sir, if you wouldn't mind, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I'm also although I don't have any jurisdiction here, a former police officer from New York from 1984 to 1999, tax 884442. The situation of the port would be very beneficial if you look at the area, because there's very limited access for some of the roads. Even on Buffett's Pine Buffett, it says no outlet. So if there's an emergency of some type, that port would be very beneficial for the police, the fire department, the hospital that has a helicopter as well. Also, I have on my phone, if you're interested, today, I work at DMV. A helicopter from BOC landed right on the front lawn, on the heliport, within 50 feet of my car. People were all around. It didn't disturb anybody. People actually took pictures like myself, which I have here on the phone. Here's a close-up of it. There I am standing by it, and there's the car within 50 feet. It happens on a usual basis. Sometimes the governor uses it, and we have one in back heliport. So I don't see any deterrence. Like they said, other planes and other things are flying in that area by my house. They have the crop dusters are constantly going, which to me is a little annoying, other than a helicopter flying occasionally. If anything, my neighbor who has a 6-year-old likes to look at a helicopter when it comes by. So I just figured I'd give you my point of view, and I felt the community would be benefit for security, safety, and emergency response, speaking from a professional without going more into the details of what I did for a living and what I do for a living now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else here speaking in favor of the application? Mr. Kennedy, anyone online?
No, we have no members from the public online at this time.
At this point, do we have anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to the petition before us? Please come forward and state your name and address and be sworn or affirmed.
My name is Linda Sperry. I live at 50 St. Column Drive, Felton, Delaware.
Ms. Sperry, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm not going to get into character or noise or anything like that. I just wanted to give my opinion as a resident in the area. I should point out that as an effective resident, current and future area homeowners and buyers should have the confidence and the expectation that the home they purchase in a zone R1 or agricultural would remain as such and have not have clearly non-residential or non-agricultural activities inserted into their neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in opposition to the petition? Mr. Kennedy?
There are no members from the public online at this time, Madam President.
Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Scott, for a motion.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Levy Court grant conditional approval of application CS 25-05, a conditional use site plan for construction of a helipad and 3,600 square foot hangar located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, RPC recommendation reported date July 29, 2025. Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated July 3rd, public hearing testimony given tonight. The approval shall include the following conditions. A, the helipad shall be for personal use only, commercial use is prohibited. B, there shall be only one helicopter on site and there shall be no experimental helicopters. C, flying shall take place only during daylight hours. D, as shown on the plan, no westbound takeoff or approach shall be permitted.
Second the motion.
We have a motion by Vice President Scott, second by Commissioner Angel. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes, reason stated by Commissioner Scott, but also taking out all the emotions and what this does. The FAA standing requirement is a lot stricter based on our needs or what we want. RPC approval, and I know it's called NIMBYs, not in my backyard. That seems to go along with everything we do. Nobody likes to have anything next to them, even when it's right. That's why they come to us. So my vote is yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes, based on RPC recommendations.
Mr. Hertz? Mr. Pepper?
Yes, based on RPC recommendation and all previous comments.
Mr. Scott?
Yes, based on RPC recommendation, staff recommendation.
Mr. Sweeney? Mrs. Maston?
Yes, per RPC, staff recommendations and testimony tonight. Let the record show 7 in favor of the petition. Thank you. Next petition to amend comprehensive plan map and zoning map. Mr. Scott, ordinance LC 2514.
Thank you, Madam President. This time I'll ask Ms. Kiefer to.
Ordinance LC 2514 is a petition to rezone. The site itself is 0.4 acres on the west side of Old Beach Road, north of Barrett's Chapel, north of Frederica. It is actually the old Webb's Market. It's currently zoned BN Neighborhood Business, and the proposal is to rezone to BG General Business. The Regional Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval of the rezoning, citing, in fact, this parcel is included in the comprehensive plan within the Little Heaven Employment Center. The site has been used for commercial purposes since before the adoption of zoning. And the small size of the property, even with a slightly more intensive zoning district, limits the intensity of any future development. So again, this comes with a recommendation for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Ms. Kiefer? At this point, we open it up to anyone here speaking in favor of ordinance LC 2514. Please come forward, state your name, address, and be sworn or affirmed.
My name is James Burke, 97 Wayne D. Avenue, Milford, Delaware.
Sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir. How you doing, folks? I purchased this property as an investment property because I sold my business, Extreme Graphics, in Milford. And my plan is to lease it to Blue Collar Cycles. It's going to be motorcycle sales and service. It's going to be a small one-man operation. When I purchased the property, I had no idea that of these different steps that I've had to go through for changes in the building, because the building has been abandoned for several years. But we needed to be business general in order to sell motorcycles, motor vehicles out of that area.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please come forward. Mr. Kennedy?
Madam President, we have no members from the general public online at this time.
Anyone here like to speak in opposition? Ordinance LC 25? Mr. Kennedy?
Still no members from the general public online at this time, Madam President.
Back to you, Mr. Scott, for a motion.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Levy Court approve ordinance LC 25-14, amending the zoning map from BN Neighborhood Business to BG General Business located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, RPC Recommendation Report dated July 29, 2025. Exhibit B, Public Hearing Testimony dated July 3, 2025, and Public Hearing Testimony given here tonight.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Vice President Scott, second by Commissioner Angel. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes, reasons stated by Commissioner Scott.
Mr. Hall?
Yes, per RPC recommendation.
Mr. Hertz? Mr. Pepper?
Yes, for all reasons stated, and that property was a very successful business for many, many years. I hope this business remains there for a lot of years to come.
Mr. Scott?
Yes, per RPC's recommendations, and as Commissioner Pepper just said, when they put Bay Road in, it kind of killed the traffic pattern for that business, and they've not been very successful for a number of years with having anything there. So for Mr. Burke and his family to take on the chore and the test of revitalizing this business, I think it's a great thing. So my answer is absolutely yes.
Mr. Sweeney? Mrs. Maston?
Yes, reason stated.
Madam President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Let the record show 7 yeas. Moving on to Kent County Ordinance, Mr. Hall, LC 25-16, short-term rentals.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd ask Ms. Kiefer to give us an overview of this ordinance.
Certainly. LC 2516 amends the conditions for a short-term rental. Currently, one of the conditions is that the primary unit shall be owner-occupied unless the property is 5 acres or more. What this ordinance does is simply eliminate that condition, so there would be no owner occupancy requirement for a short-term rental of any size. The Planning Commission did review this in their July hearings. They expressed some concern about eliminating a lot size entirely and voted to recommend denial of the ordinance. And we should note that that requires a supermajority of Levy Court to pass the ordinance should you choose. But again, very simply, it eliminates a condition that requires owner occupancy. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Kiefer? Mr. Scott?
So, Ms. Kiefer, if I'm correct in saying the only thing that we were after to change on this ordinance was the requirement for 5 acres, correct?
The 5 acres is, owner occupancy is contingent on 5 acres. So if you are under 5 acres, you have to be owner occupied. So this eliminates that condition altogether. There will be no 5 acre limit. There will be no owner occupancy requirement.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Angel?
Yeah, according to this also, it's only for 30 days and under. Anything over 30 days is considered a regular rental when anybody can rent their property, correct?
Correct.
Okay. My only concern is an enforcement issue. If something would come up, are we covered to cover it?
It would depend on what it is.
After hours.
No, that's a separate concern.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure it's on record.
That's a different kind of violation. If someone is simply upset that a short-term rental exists, we can't do anything about that. If somebody is violating a code, different altogether.
I just want to get it on record. Thank you.
Commissioner Hertz or Commissioner Sweeney, do you have any comments for Ms. Kiefer? Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Kiefer. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of Ordinance LC 2516? Please come forward. Mr. Kennedy.
Madam President, there's no members from the general public online at this time.
Is there anyone here who would speak in opposition of Ordinance LC 25-16? Please come forward. Mr. Kennedy.
Still no members from the general public online at this time, Madam President.
Thank you. Back to you, Commissioner Hall, for motion.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to approve Ordinance LC 25-16, short-term rentals, an ordinance to amend Kent County Code, Volume 2, Chapter 205, zoning, as amended by revising Article 6, Conditions of Approval, Paragraph 205-68, Residential Uses, Item 1. Short-term rentals to modify the conditions of approval by removing the minimum lot size and owner occupancy requirement.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hall, second by Commissioner Scott. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes, with my concern noted on after hours. Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz? Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney? Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Madam President, roll call Reveals 7 yeas.
This concludes our public hearings. Moving in, do we have any old business?
Madam Chair, could I have just a moment? I'm sorry, it's my first meeting. I'm going to do something a little unorthodox because of what unorthodox happened earlier. Just making a record that in the middle of the public hearing, or when we were trying to start the public hearings, there was an internet outage that limited our ability to have online participation. We called in the commissioners who were participating online, but we couldn't, through that period of time, bring the online folks back. We went back, looked up and looked at the FOIA statute, which has the exemption when you don't have connectivity. And I just wanted to make it on the record that there was about 4 or 5 people that were online at that time who couldn't participate, but everybody here was able to participate, and we were okay to go forward under the plain language of the FOIA statute. So I just didn't want the hearing to go by in case we get a challenge that we made note of what had happened.
Thank you so much, and boy, am I glad you're here tonight. Moving into, is there any old business any commissioners would like to address? Commissioner Sweeney or Hertz? Okay, thank you. Moving into new business, we have a workshop item. Mr. Scott?
Thank you, Madam President. Make a motion to approve the bid award to FILEC Services for the Kent County Public Safety Building Generator Replacement Project in the amount of $485,000, with funding to be provided from the Department of Public Safety HQ Building Generator Capital Projects.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice President Scott, second by Commissioner Angel. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz? Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney? Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Madam President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Let the record show 7 yeas. That is the end of our workshop items for this evening. Commissioner Vice President Scott?
Thank you, Madam President. Immediate following the business meeting, if needed, caucus room for preliminary discussion on site acquisition for publicly funded capital improvement, legal strategy session regarding collective bargaining or pending or potential litigation in personnel matters pursuant to 29 Delaware C 10004B 2, 4, and 9, and that is for August the 5th.
Second motion.
Motion by Vice President Scott, second by Commissioner Angel. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz? Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney? Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Madam President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Let the record show we have 7 yeas. Any information items? Commissioner Angel?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a reminder for the general public that Levy Court will be meeting the 5th and the 12th of August. We're on our summer schedule, so that everybody knows.
Commissioner Sweeney or Commissioner Hertz, do you have anything?
Don't forget the beach festival this weekend in Wyoming.
Any public comment? Any commissioner comments? Commissioner Angel?
I saved the best for last. NACO. I wanted to say that we had over 3,000 attend the Philadelphia show. That was amazing. All I can say is I don't know how people could walk those city blocks for all the meetings getting to across the street and every place, because without my cart, I was dead to the world by the time I got back to my room. If I hadn't had it, I don't think I would have been able to get to the things I had to get to. even though I got knocked off twice. People weren't watching what they were doing, but I didn't get hurt. So, but I need to get you all there. I mean, this was in Philadelphia. This was fantastic. The marketplace, right down the street, across the street from the place where we're at. I mean, if you couldn't find something to eat, there was something wrong with you. It's fantastic. Enjoyed it. Thank you all for letting me do that.
Vice President Scott?
Thank you, Madam President. On behalf of Commissioner Hertz, to remind everyone of the Peach Festival this weekend in Wyoming.
Any other commissioner comments? Motion to adjourn to executive session, and we will not be returning.
Hold on. I may be different and I'm new here, so I think you do need to return after the executive session, even just to adjourn. And you might not have done it that way before, but I think you need to keep the meeting open.
Motion to adjourn to executive session, and we might be back.
It'll be very short, I think, when we come back. But with that said, I still think that's the proper way.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for keeping time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't know we were coming back.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
Do you want my paperwork, and I'll get it from you later? Do you want this paperwork?
Oh, no, I know.
You can write it down?
Madam President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
We have a motion by Vice President Scott, second by Commissioner Pepper. All in favor?
Aye.
No, I'm having too much fun. Yes.
Guys, have a great week. I'll catch you next Tuesday.